이 위대한 구원. 크로스포인트 주니어 처치에서 전해드리는 이 시간, 담당의 Darin Pantley 형제입니다.
Hi, this is Darin Pantley from Point Bible Church. When I meet people, I like to ask, what keeps you busy? But the standard American greeting is more like, Hi, I'm Darin. Who are you? Depending on your cultural background, you might instinctively respond in different ways. Without even thinking, an answer pops into your head. Americans often highlight their name and occupation. For example, if you ask, Who are you? Then I might respond, Hi, I'm Darin, a software engineer. You never even asked me what I do for a living, but it's just automatically part of the answer in American culture. People from other cultural backgrounds respond differently. Some people will highlight what group they're affiliated with. It would be like me saying, Hi, I'm Darin from Point Bible Church. In some cultures, people highlight their seniority or professional titles. If I was from a place like that, it might be natural for me to say, My name is Darin Pantley, and I have a background in engineering management. Some cultures skip the professional titles entirely and focus outside of work. This is very different from the standard American greeting. I could say, I am Darin, son of Mark, and I have lived many years in the Midwest. That's more of a family-oriented response. In certain cultures, the typical response is as simple as, Nice to meet you, I'm Darin. Notice I didn't mention my family, my job, my seniority, my community, or anything else. I am just me. My identity isn't tied to those other things. So, if you ask someone, who are you? Depending on who you ask, you might get a lot of different answers. It all revolves around what those various cultures value and think are important. The things they feel are worth mentioning. Now, let's suppose you visit a church and you hear the pastor give a sermon. Maybe he'll preach from the book of John, chapter 1. Yet to all who did receive him, to those who believed in his name, he gave the right to become children of God. Or Romans chapter 5. Therefore, since we have been justified through faith, we have peace with God through our Lord Jesus Christ. Or possibly 1 Peter chapter 2. But you are a chosen people, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, God's special possession, that you may declare the praises of him who called you out of darkness into his wonderful light. We learn that God is all-powerful, all-knowing, everywhere all at once, an eternal God, the Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end, capable of conquering sin and saving us from its consequences. We've heard God's introduction. He didn't do it American style. He did it in his own way, through Bible verses and answers to prayers. Let's not let the conversation die here. Do you have a follow-up question? Will you ask God, what else can you do? Or, what was it like when you created the earth and the stars in the sky? I'm sure God could talk endlessly about who he is, what he can do, and what he has already done. But why did God do those things? Why did he create you and me? And why is God's identity so closely linked with ours? It's because he thinks you're a big deal, extra special, chosen, worth dying for, invited to become a valuable member of his growing family, justified through faith. But that's just what God says. What do you say? Who are you? How do you introduce yourself?
지금까지 크로스포인트 주니어 처치에서 전해드렸습니다. 언어와 문화의 장벽을 없애고 실시간 동시 통역이 제공되는 크로스포인트 주니어 처치의 주일 예배 시간은 오전 11시이며 교회에 대한 안내는 847-212-6775로 문의해 주시길 바랍니다.